Hey, today we're talking about using metal in Xcode to create this triangle in the simulator, and let's dive into the code. So to create the project, you open the Xcode and create an iOS app and add the frameworks, Swift UI, Metal, MetalKit for this project. And as for the flow, it's pretty much similar to OpenGL, but it might be a little bit simpler. So first we create this shader.metal, that is to process the vertex and the fragment shader. And then next we create the triangle's coordinates, the vertices, and then the vertex buffer. And the main flow would be to get the device, render the pipeline, and bind the pipeline. And then to commit the ones from the command queue to get the buffer encoder. And then we need to represent in Swift UI, that is to wrap the metal view we had. So we're going to use the default metal library, and then we set up the rendering pipeline. So for the descriptor, that is for configuring and some specifications in various stages of the pipeline. So we need to get the vertex function, fragment function, which is in the shader.metal file that we defined. So let's take a look at that file. And in this file, we have the vertex shader. We get the input from the vertex array that we're going to define in the triangle's vertices. And for the output, we're going to assign the position of the input and to pass it down from this shader to the subsequent stages of the rendering pipeline. And that is to this output. And we put a float 4, which stands for 4D vector, x, y, z, and w, and we're going to set w as a constant. And for the fragment, let's make it red. And going back to this content view, so in the beginning, we had get the pipeline descriptors, vertex, and fragment. And then we need a pixel format. So the order would be blue, green, red, and alpha. And it's going to be 8 bits per component, that is 30 bits per pixel. And we're going to guard let pipeline. And this is to return the pipeline state. And for the delegate, that is to set in this coordinator class, we need a delegator to set the rendering process handler methods. And the purpose is to separate the logic from the view itself. So in the drawing function, we set up the vertices of the triangle. So we put the center as the coordinator, as the origin that has the coordinates of 0, 0, 0. So this would be the point on the top, left and right point. And we get a buffer from the vertices. And then we define other variables that's related with our values. For the command rendering, the guard is to make sure all these variables are not assigned to non-values. So we have the command buffer, this descriptor, and the encoder. And now let's start to bind the pipeline, get the buffer, and then draw it, and then to commit the command buffer from the queue. And this is to initialize an instance from the class up above that we just defined. And the UI view, we're gonna get the device, we'll get the delegate that is from this instance of the class above. And then under the meta view scope, we have our rendering pipeline state, and also a Swift syntax saying the question mark is to donate optional types that may or may not exist. And then we're going to return the view. And if the project gets a little bit complicated, then of course we need to update the view. And the last would be to initialize our main functions, as well as using another, this is beginning, this app.swift that is going to get auto-generated by the project. And so that's the code, and let's test if it runs. Yeah, it says build succeeded, and I will just connect the Mac to your phone, and then there we have it, the triangle. And I hope this is helpful. If so, please give a thumb up or leave a comment down below. And thanks for watching.